I'm an idiot.
It's showtime!
Hi there, it's Alex here. So I saw Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, both in theaters and now streaming. And it's perfectly okay, but overall pretty disappointing. I'm in a small camp, but I genuinely love the first Shazam movie from 2019. It gave me a sort of feeling I hadn't had with many superhero movies, since I want to say stuff like Spider-Man 2. Not saying that it's as great as that, but there's a certain charm that the movie found that made superheroes fun in a new kind of way for me.
Wait, we still don't know if the suit is bulletproof or if you are. Shoot him in the face.
Shoot me in the face! In the face?
Billy Batson was the answer to the question we all had as kids. What would it be like if we were a superhero? And because your main hero is still a kid posing in an adult's body, it gave a unique perspective and presented a movie that was a genuine blast. The movie also handles the themes of abandonment pretty seriously and doesn't shy away from it. Asher Angel is really good at conveying the feeling of a scared kid who's just trying to find his family, who then discovers he's already found it. Zachary Levi became one of my most favorite castings in a superhero film at the time, and the scene where everyone gets powers absolutely blew my mind because they hit that so well in the marketing leading up to the film's release. Also, the ending scene is one of my hardest belly laughs in a theater I've ever had. The movie is a pure joy, and I just love to rewatch it from time to time. So now we're in 2023. We've gone through a pandemic, the MCU wrapped their Infinity Saga, DC is in the process of rebranding themselves yet again, and in the midst of all this, Shazam! Fury of the Gods has arrived. And how is it? Well, I mentioned earlier, this was pretty disappointing. Not to say that I didn't enjoy it, because there are tons here to entertain you. The unique perspective of being a kid who's trying to be a superhero, I think still works decently, for the most part. Jack Dylan Grazer as Freddy is still one of my favorite castings in comic book movie history, along with Grace Caroline Curry as Mary. She didn't get too much to do this time, but I think they were onto something here. Oh, and Digimon Hanzo finally gets his time to shine. Jesus Christ, this man has been around, and he barely gets the screen time he deserves. Luckily, he's been given much more of a chance to do more in this movie, and it made me extremely delighted. But other than that, there's not a whole lot to rave about. The comedy is sometimes hit or miss, the action scenes aren't really a ton of fun, a lot of characters take a back seat, the tone is a bit inconsistent, the villains are so-so, and Zachary Levi as Shazam has become annoying. Like, super annoying. What was once one of my biggest praises from the first movie has become my biggest negative of the sequel, and while I wouldn't say that Zach is the problem, more so the writing for his character itself, it's just too much of a disconnect. These two performances are so much different from one another. This doesn't match up at all. When we see Billy, which isn't a whole lot, he doesn't act like this at all. He seems to age down like a 10-year-old. It's just too much. While I appreciate Levy's commitment to selling this performance, he kind of just overdoes the whole thing, and it didn't pay off in the end. I keep seeing people on Twitter really wish that James Marsden could be recast as Shazam, and while I think he'd be a fun choice, I still don't blame Levy for any of this.
Okay, look, I might not have as much experience as you, because I'm not, like, super old like you.
Dear daughters of ass hatless, burn!
But anyways, my point is, the writing doesn't make any sense here. I think in a movie with a ton wrong, Shazam is easily the weakest part for me. Because aside from this aspect, I did mostly have fun. Now I got my positives, and I want to save those for the end of the video to end on a high note. So let me get some stuff out of the way first. Let's start off with the Shazam family. Or as I like to call them, the Shazamly. So ever since the first movie, the title of Shazam has taken on a new meaning for any potential sequels. When I heard Shazam, I wasn't just thinking about Billy, I was thinking about all of them. And Fury of the Gods gives us a bit more of the family, but not as much as I'd like to see. Pedro, Eugene, and Darla take mostly a backseat compared to the other kids, sadly. Also, if we're counting kid actor appearances, so does Billy technically. All we ever see is that Eugene spends most of his time either playing video games or mapping outdoors. Pedro is just gay and just really likes to watch baseball. That's it. And Darla, she really, really, really likes Skittles. Like, really likes them. Like, this feels like it's kind of a commercial.
Taste the rainbow.
Touch the rainbow. Taste the rainbow.
I guess in a movie with too many characters, it's hard to balance them all, but I just wish that there was a little bit more than what we got. The other three that primarily get the majority of the focus is Billy, Freddy, and sometimes Mary. I said it earlier, but Jack Dylan Grazer is really great as Freddy. I am so glad that he gets paired up with the Wizard in this movie for a lot of the comedic relief. I could easily watch these two banter back and forth all day. And Mary is an odd case. She gets more focused than the three kids I mentioned earlier, but ultimately gets sidelined at a point. It's weird, they build her up a little bit in the beginning with her now being an adult, wanting to have friends her own age, wanting to go off to college. They try to do their best to write these characters aside a bit by taking away their powers temporarily, but all this does is make me want more. And I think I have a solution for all this, but I'll save that for later. A huge letdown in terms of casting, in my opinion, is Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu as the daughter of Atlas. Helen Mirren tries with what she's given and even made me chuckle here and there, but ultimately was just mostly wasted. Even worse for Lucy Liu, I feel really bad because all her character is saying for most of the time is, I don't agree with your villain plan, I'm just gonna do the plan my way, and then just does it her way. Just kind of there with not a whole lot to do, and it sucks. I mean, it was cool to see her again in a big budget blockbuster, but I just wanted more. And speaking of wasted, they have Rachel Zegler playing the third sister. Her role is to get closer to Freddy so she could lure in the heroes he had met before so the sisters could use the wizard staff to take their powers. On my first viewing, I did find these scenes a ton of fun between these two actors. They do have some nice chemistry, but it's weird that this character is over 6,000 years old and still kinda has a romance with Freddy by the end. That really changed the way I see these scenes, and it just leaves me feeling super weird and awkward. Also, is it just me, or does superhero Freddy remind anyone of the Deep from The Boys? I don't know why, but it's just something about the way he acts when he has his powers that reminds me of the Deep from The Boys. This is my last major negative I'm going to focus on, and is huge spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, you've been warned. Okay. So in the final act, Billy sacrifices himself to defeat Lucy Liu's character and save the day. And because of the state of the DCU in the current moment, with its huge rebranding around the corner, and under new management, I really wanted to believe this for half a second. And I was a dumbass for doing so, because for some reason we have arguably the biggest shoehorned cameo of all time, where Wonder Woman comes in and saves the day like 5 minutes later, bringing Billy back to life, giving everyone their powers back. Yay! She has never had a single connection to this character other than seeing her in his dreams. I mean, he met Superman before, once. But that doesn't really explain how she knew how to go here and do the thing. It's incredibly lazy, and it breaks my heart. It really, truly breaks my heart. Because I genuinely love the idea of Shazam eventually meeting members of the Justice League. Particularly Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. I still really love that first 2017 Wonder Woman movie by Patty Jenkins. 1984 is mostly forgettable and I just don't talk about, but I still really love her performance in that first movie, and it's stuck with me ever since. Being that these were the two standouts at the time when the DCEU was in its rocky phase, I was really excited to see them interact, and yeah, I just didn't feel anything by the time we got it. It's a shame. I was just really looking forward to the sequel. I wanted it to be good, and to see more adventures of the Shazam family as time went on. And from where I'm standing, this franchise is probably dead and buried now. It's sad, and for what it was, I will miss it. Also, I mentioned earlier that I have like a slight solution to how they could have made the Shazam family work. My solution is make Shazam a part of a bigger team and leave the Shazam family to do their own thing. So before I wrap this all up, I want to take time to let you know that while I had a lot of gripes with Fury of the Gods, I did enjoy some stuff about it. I mean, it's mostly harmless in some aspects, and I've seen far worse. It didn't feel like people involved didn't care or anything, it just didn't work, sadly. And with how long this movie got delayed and sat aside, it's a tragedy there wasn't any time used to correct some issues. But again, here's the stuff I do like. Asher Angel is great as Billy for the small amount of time that he has. Some of the needle drops are pretty good, even if they're here for the sake of being here. I like that the wizard got a whole lot more screen time. Megan Good as Darla is still a lot of fun. Grace Caroline Curry is great as Mary, and I'd love to see more of her. And the 2 post-credit scenes left me with the biggest smile on my face. I already said it before, but I fucking love Peacemaker, and seeing Economos and Harcourt interact with Shazam is something I never knew I wanted.
Billy Batson.
Yeah? I mean, no.
Anyways, let's wrap up into a final verdict. So, when I finish talking about things, I typically narrow it down to categories usually. Either high recommend, or skip. And for Shazam Fury of the Gods, I'm introducing a new rating, which is called Proceed with Caution. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but I also can't say to skip it. I think you should just check it out if you really want to. If you really enjoy that first Shazam movie, proceed with caution. Just know it's not as good as the first. It's kind of a letdown. And if you don't really care to watch this one, hey, check out something else instead, like John Wick 4. I hear that's pretty good. Actually, it is. I saw it. It's pretty good. Anyways, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. It truly means a lot to me, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at AlexMakesVids, and I'm gonna go and play some Resident Evil 4 now. Alex out.